can just do that now. And you should be good.
Oh, are we good, Michelle?
We're good. I think we're just waiting on Michelle to drop the slide.
Oh, gosh, I wasn't showing that it was still being shared, so.
There we go. All right.
All right.
We are beginning. This is Chair French, joined by my colleagues Commissioner Keene and Commissioner Keither, and I am convening this public workshop in compliance docket numbers 24 EKME 253 CPL and 24 EKCE 254 CPL. This is a presentation and discussion for Evergy Kansas Metro and Evergy Kansas Central for their compliance filings pursuant to Kansas House Bill 2225, KSA 1237. And the topic for today is a workshop in which representatives of the public utility shall represent the details associated with transmission projects that are anticipated in the succeeding calendar year. And the workshop will allow for questions and comments from the commission staff, and CURB. While we have a number of participants here, the main agenda is a presentation from Evergy, and so I will go ahead and turn it over to the company. I don't know who's going to take the lead. Katie, looks like you're going off lead, so I will turn it over to Katie on in.
Thank you. Let me share my screen. Okay, can you confirm that you can see?
Yes, looks
okay.
good, and it is now full screen. So
Awesome. Thank you so much. So as said, we're here today to talk about projects that qualify under House Bill 2225. So the criteria for inclusion in the filing, projects within Evergy Kansas Central or Evergy Metro with over $15 million in transmission investment in Kansas. The list of projects that we've included does include one Evergy Metro Missouri project, but it will have more than 15 million invested in or investment allocated to Kansas due to the demand allocator. So that's why it's included. We're required to include projects with in-service dates in 2026 or 27, and we've categorized the project types according to the definitions here. So this is what we've used since we started filing. No changes to these definitions. New builds we're considering as greenfields or expansions of existing asset or expansions of existing infrastructure. So for instance, if it's a new substation, we had to get additional land to expand that substation, we would consider that new build. Upgrades are increases in capacity of existing assets, and then rebuilds are just like for like replacement. Just a couple notes on these projects because they are so large. The project scopes and timelines can change based on a lot of different factors, including funding availability, project interdependencies, whether we can get outages. A lot of projects have to be sequenced, so that can move them around, and other things that may come up may result in us changing in-service dates for specific projects. And then for these large transmission or substation projects that we're talking about, the timelines can be 36 to 48 months. So these projects are going into service in 2026 and 2027. So we've already started quite a bit of work. The engineering starts usually that 3 to 4 years ahead of time. So these are in progress already. So we've included, this is a list of all of the projects that are included in this year's filing. The ones in blue were the ones that we covered last year in the 2024 filing. We have those in the appendix, but we weren't planning on going through the details because the details haven't really changed since last year. So really, we only have 3 new projects to discuss. There's a StatCom line rebuild and then some work at some substations. So we will get into the details of those 3 projects. And all 3 of these projects are in the Evergy, Kansas Central area. So the first project is a StatCom. This is the first StatCom that we'll be installing in Evergy's service territory. It's in the Wichita division with an investment of about $60 million. We identified this project to support dynamic voltage recovery in the area. So this is something that we've seen as needed since conventional generating retirements. We've done some specific studies and identified that this was a location that could benefit from help with some voltage recovery. And I didn't mention this before, but feel free to stop me if you have any questions along the way.
Well, I was just gonna stop you right there, actually.
Okay, great.
Katie, it's not a technology I'm super familiar with. How common is this in the industry? How is this a newer technology? Is it something that's been around a long time, but you guys are just now looking at? Can you just give me a little background and maybe a little more detail on how it
Yeah.
works?
Yeah. It's not, it's newer. It's something like I said, we haven't installed yet, but Ameren has installed a few and some people from Evergy have gone and talked to Ameren about how they're using it. I don't know exactly how the number of them, but as we transition from conventional generation to more renewables, we're not getting the voltage recovery support from those renewables that we get from conventional generation. And that's kind of what's driving these StatComs.
Okay, so it is a sort of a specialized enhancing device that's going to bring some reliability attributes that maybe the grid needs with the transition, or maybe bridging until you get new resources online.
Correct.
Okay.
And sorry, I will add voltage recovery is really local, so it doesn't travel well ultimately. So because we have such a large load pocket in the Wichita area, we've seen some conventional generation retirements in that area as well.
Yeah.
We just saw this as needing additional a specific area that's needing additional support.
Okay, thank you. That's very helpful to me.
Katie, Dwight Keene, follow-on question from me. So what are the conventional generating units being retired?
They're retirements that we did a few years ago. I want to say in 2015, we started looking at this. We've had some additional detail that we've added to the models that allowed us to see the concerns with the voltage recovery. We've used some different models of specifically air conditioners that may impact voltage recovery after just an event on the system. And that allowed us to see the need for this.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So
maybe
it's not,
I'm
so
just
it's
a
not,
little slow. It's early. What are the conventional generating units being retired?
we're not retiring any at this time. It's ones that have retired in the past.
Oh, are past tense retired.
Yes.
Oh, and what were those? Again, I'm sorry.
The Murray Gill generation retirements.
Okay, and what sort of generation units were those?
I believe they were natural gas? I would need someone to confirm that.
That was
Yeah, it
my
was,
understanding.
yeah, Gordon Evans was a natural gas steam generating unit,
Okay.
and Murray Gill also, and they're both were in the Wichita location. So, and they
Thanks, Sandy.
Okay. And these were in the old KG&E area then, I presume.
Yes.
correct.
Thank you.
All right, unless there are any other questions on this item, I think you can continue.
All right. Our next project is a 69 kV line rebuild, about $30 million in TFR investment in our Independence division. This is an upgrade. We're rebuilding the existing line. Portions of the line have been in place since 1941. It's actually two different sections. The first one was built in 41. The second was between 55 and 62. So most of the line is over its expected life, with about a quarter being 1.5 times their expected life. This line's also radial, so it's the only feed going into a specific area. So we're really reliant upon this transmission line to feed the load in the local area. And because of that radial configuration, we're not able to do the work safely to go in and replace structures one by one. So we're going to be rebuilding it. It's justified based on the condition of the line itself, but the radial nature of it allows us to, or forces us to consider the rebuild too. So you can see we have a couple pictures on the right of structures, current structures on the line. We've got that wishbone on the top, the wishbone type structure. That's not something we use anymore. These are both wood poles. They're rotten. We've got the brown glass insulators that are known to fail. So this is just equipment that's past its life expectancy and ready to be replaced.
And just confirm, since it says rebuild, I assume the configuration is and right of way is basically staying the same, and it's going to continue to be a radial line. I assume it was probably not economical to change that configuration.
Yeah, we're looking at options. We actually have some options to loop it in. It's just the need for rebuilding this is to the point that we're going to rebuild it as it is before we loop that in, or potentially loop that in.
Thank you.
All right, and the third project, new project for the 2025 filing is it's a 345 to 138 transformer addition and a 161 to 130 or two 161 to 138 kV transformer removals. So we have two substations that are close to each other that have 345, 161, and 138 between the two substations. There are two 161, 138 kV transformers, and those have been identified as SPP temporary flow gates. So one will overload if you lose the other transformer. So we see loading issues. Also, the having both transformers in place, we have a concern with circulating bars, which can result in the loss of life on transformers, can cause them to overheat. And that we've seen that happen on the transformers nearby substations when we have both of those 161 to 138 kV transformers in. They're also just reaching end of life. So we see this as a better way of serving the area from the 345 kV system going straight to the 138. So we can remove some of that additional equipment that's no longer necessary.
I don't have any questions on this project. Are there questions from anyone else? I'm not seeing any hands.
Okay.
All right.
So that was the three new projects that were covered for 2025. There's 5 additional projects that were included in the filing. last year as well. So wanted to give just some quick updates on those. I will say when we made the filing in April, one of these projects was inadvertently missed. So we made an updated filing to include it. A couple of the cost estimates, we've provided the cost estimate comparison between the 2024 filing and the 2025. You can see some of them have gone up, some have gone down. Most of that is just based on scope refinement after we've provided the previous estimates. We continue to work and scopes change slightly, and that obviously impacts the cost estimates. And you can see the last project on this list is the one in Metro Missouri. That's due to the demand allocator will be more than 15 million in Kansas. And that's why that one was included.
Thank you. Well, I'll make one editorial comment, which is after sitting through a couple SPP meetings this week and getting updated cost numbers on the latest ITP, these updated cost numbers don't look too bad at all.
Yeah.
So it's something that others will hear about, I'm sure, in the coming weeks.
I'm
So,
sure there will be a lot of discussion.
yes. All right. Any other questions? I think this may be your last slide.
Yep.
So are there any questions from staff, Curb, commissioners, anyone else on the call?
Chair French, I have a question. I'm suspecting, Katie, I know there's a proposed Buffalo Flats line in central southeast Kansas. I presume that that's not on this list because it doesn't fall within the 26-27 timeline. Is that right?
So the Buffalo Flats to Delaware is the one I assume that you're referring to, the new 345 kV line.
That's correct.
Okay, that is, we actually received an NTC from SPP for that project. So House Bill 2225 excludes anything that we received NTCs for.
Oh, all right. All right.
And it is further out than 27 as well, but it will not be included in these 2225 filings because of the NTC issuance from SPP.
Okay, thank you.
Chad, I see you're off mute. Did you have an item?
No, I don't have a question, but I was just gonna let the commission know. We held our technical conference on July 10th or June 18th, and then had a follow-up meeting with Evergy on July 10th concerning the StatCom projects, and the engineering group was kind of took the lead in that meeting. We plan to incorporate kind of the compliance filing within staff's TDC filing, R&R, and we have kept open this compliance docket for future rate periods. And so the main work product that you'll see is going to come out in staff's R&R in the TDC dockets
Okay.
that kind of incorporate this House bill.
All right. Thank you, Chad. Okay. Any other questions for Katie and her team? Mr. Astrab, I see you've gone off mute.
Hi, yes, thank you, Chair French. I have a quick question about the StatCom project, Katie. You'd mentioned that it was necessary to have that kind of backup there as the system transitions to more renewable generation in its fleet. In the meantime, obviously, the IRP does forecast a good amount of natural gas generation as well. And so as those projects start coming online in the future, how does that StatCom system interact with that kind of generation source?
Yeah, the StatCom is still necessary even after we add that natural gas, simply because of the location. It is in a highly populated area, large load center. So it's supporting the load in the specific area, and voltage doesn't travel voltage support doesn't travel well. So because of the location, it's still necessary. We reran our studies and found that it was still needed even after we added additional conventional generation.
Thank you. And as a quick follow-up to that, I know this is kind of the first location where this is being used in Kansas. Does Evergy anticipate similar systems in other parts of its jurisdiction here between Metro and
We
Central?
Yeah, we've looked at the metro area. There's a potential site identified in metro. We don't have it planned currently, but we have a site identified if we see the need for it in the future.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the information.
All right. One more opportunity, if anyone has anything else. Okay, I am not seeing any more hands, not hearing anyone else. So thank you, Ms. Onen. We appreciate the presentation. Good information. Got to learn about a new technology, which is always appreciated. With that, unless you have any concluding remarks, and I'm seeing a shaking of the
I don't,
head.
yeah, I do not.
All right. We will go ahead and conclude this workshop. We do thank everyone for your participation, and we'll probably see you back here in another year.
Yep.
With that, we are adjourned. Thank you all, and take care.
Thank you.